So, I saw the movie Scott Pilgrim several times. Not one time, several times, just because Scott Pilgrim is awesome. So, I don't know. It's just a ridiculously indie movie, but in a good way. Once again, you know it's an indie movie because Michael Cera is in it. And when Michael Cera is in a movie, that just like automatically makes it an indie movie. It's like, I don't care if he's in the most popular, expensive movie of all time. If Michael Cera is in it, it's magically an indie movie. That's just how the rule works. I didn't make it, but that's okay. Now, we're going to discuss Scott Pilgrim in detail because I like Scott Pilgrim. So we're going to talk about it as much as I want to talk about it. And by we, I mean me. Okay, let's start the shebang off. It starts off awesome. They're like, music, and it's great because they're just like, yeah, we're gonna write original songs for a movie, which is awesome because they have like all these songs that like completely fit in, and the soundtrack is really amazing. They have like the Rolling Stones, they have like all these other random bands that I haven't heard of. They have like, more popular bands like, Metric or something like that. But overall, it's pretty awesome, the music, just overall. You can see from the original, graphic novel, which I read because I'm just that cool, and by cool I mean lame, that music is incredibly important. And in fact, in the graphic novel, you can, see, the notes. He gives you the notes and, the lyrics for their crappy song, in his opinion, which I think is funny. Anyway, so he started off, he has a crappy band, he's stupid, and I love that. I love that they have a main character who's retarded. He sucks at everything. He's just a failure, and he pees constantly, which is great, because most movies, completely ignore, people's need to urinate. Like Harry Potter, Harry bathes once in all of 7 books.
Forgot to mention he's the #1 fighter in his district. That's his only talent.
It's barely mentioned in the movie. It's mentioned more in the book, but... Okay, we have that covered. Option 2 that we're going to cover is Wallace. I love Wallace. Wallace is Scott's cool gay roommate who just says the most hilarious things. He's so gay. He's like 9 kinds of gay. Anyway, he just says funny things like, I didn't make the gay rule book, take it up with Liberace's ghost. What I think is amusing is the actor who plays Wallace is actually, the kid from Home Alone, his little brother.
No way.
It's like, yes, way. Yeah, you didn't know that. That's because I told you.
Thank you for that
You're
one.
welcome. They have, throughout the movie at the beginning, they have, these statuses for all the characters. They have, the person's name, who they are, either in reference to the band or just in general. And then, their age and, their rating, awesome or not awesome or what have you. What also I love is young Neil. Not Neil Young. Young Neil. And so he's at the band practice, and then this girl, adorable Asian girl named Knives Chow, asks him, so what do you play? He's like, oh, Zelda, Tetris sometimes. And you're just like, oh, English language. So many jokes can be made at your behest. So, movie progresses, Scott Pilgrim dates a teenager, whatever, she's adorable, it's okay. Movie progresses, he sees Ramona Flowers and goes completely batshit crazy, his band is doing band things, and they're being hilarious about their band things, and then we have the band Crash and the Boys, which is Crash and some people who are not boys. One of them is a girl. So what I love about Crash and the Boys is, in the book, they just have, a couple of ridiculous notes and everyone in the audience is knocked out, and that's the end of that. And you're just like, oh crap, how are we going to play to an audience when everyone's unconscious? Anyway, so then you have the first evil ex, whose name is Matthew Patel, I think. What are you doing?
Slipping away.
That was the worst slipping away ever. You are an anti-ninja.
I'm such a ninja.
Anti-ninja. So they have a fight, and he's just this ridiculously... Matthew Patel is just this ridiculous person. He has, these hipster demon chicks who, sing and dance because that's his magical power. Just, summoning demon hipster chicks to, sing and dance for him. So he dies. You move on. Emotional things develop. Second evil ex is played by Chris Evans? The guy in Fantastic Four, the Torch. The one I wanted to punch because he was annoying. By the way, Fantastic Four, not a good movie. I only watched it because Jessica Alba is hot, and no one can tell you otherwise.
She's overrated.
No, she isn't. Jessica Alba is so hot. Have you seen her skin?
She's too perfect.
And she's has such curvaceousness, and her lips and everything.
She's too perfect.
Did you see her in Dark Angel?
No, I never saw her in that one.
Okay, well, it's a TV show, and she has, non-blonde hair. When she has blonde hair, she's lame. But when she has dark hair, she's, really hot, and, this, I don't know, kind of weird way.
Well, you'll have to prove it to me.
Fine, I will.
She's too perfect.
She's too sexy is what you're trying to say. She has
Sexy.
a ridiculous body. Jessica Alba is hot. That's what you need to know. That had nothing to do with Scott Pilgrim. Anyway, so Chris Evans is just like this dude with a skateboard. He's just so full of himself, and it's brilliant. It's just lovely how they do get this guy so full of himself, and he has like stunt doubles that he uses to fight people, and it's just hilarious. So then he gets defeated, and you're on to the third Evil X, which is my favorite Evil X because he has the power of veganism. That's right. He has the magical powers because he's a vegan. He's like, do you know that you only use 10% of your brain? The other 90% is filled up with like milk and lactose and things. It's just like, you're stupid, but it's okay because you're adorable. Oh, I forgot to mention, whenever they have an Evil X show up, they always have the Evil X have like his number somewhere around his person. Like the third Evil X has like a shirt with a 3 on it. And then the second one has like 2s on like his skateboards and stuff. I don't know. The numbers pop up for each and every one of the X's, which I think is clever. What I also enjoyed is that Scott's t-shirts are all from the original graphic novel. And that's called attention to detail, folks. Anyway, so he fights the Evil X, and he like, Scott has to deal with his own ex-girlfriend, who's super sexy and sings like Black Sheep by Metric, which is an excellent song and an excellent band. You should check them both out. So then he fights him. Vegan powers are defeated by the vegan police, because they have police of veganity. That's right. Crimes against veganity. Phil would like to mention that the police officers had mustaches, because all police officers have mustaches. Even if they don't have a mustache, secretly, underneath their skin, they have mustaches. So we go on to the fourth Evil X, and this is where everything falls apart. Like, this is where the graphic novel and the movie completely separate, and they're just like, no, we're not friends. Things don't work out for us. So they just do completely different things. So we're going to focus on the movie, because we're talking about movies and not graphic novels. In the movie, Ramona's next ex is, in fact, a lady. Oh my gosh, lesbianism, it happens. It's sexy in college, but I don't know, what is up with like every straight girl being bisexual in college? And by bisexual, they just mean getting drunk and making out with chicks. That's not real bisexual. That's you getting drunk and making out with people. Not bisexual. Point being, they have an epic fight. And it's like, oh, you're a ridiculous girl. And she has, like, this ridiculous, like, clothes. Like, she'll, like, lift up her arm and, like, half her boob will show. And then she'll, like, put it down and, like, another part of her boob will show. And, like, her body makes no sense to me. It's like there's all this random flesh popping up everywhere. It's just, I find it confusing. I liked the actress, though. She was adorable and amused me. Just because she was a silly ninja. Just such a silly ninja. And then you have the next two Evil X's who are, in fact, twin Asian guys who are just so Asian. So Asian. I can't state this enough. They are the archetype of all Asians. In the movie, they just had, like, you know, epic music battles with, like, synthesizers and shit. But in the graphic novel, they use robots because that's how Japanese they are. So many kinds of Japanese. And then, of course, you get to the last Evil X, which is, you know, Triple G, the Gordon Graves fellow, or Gideon Gordon Graves. They have, like, epic battles, and notice that throughout the movie, Ramona has been, like, changing her style. Like, first she had pink hair, and then she had blue hair, and now when she's with Gideon, she has green hair, and it's like, oh no, she's been sucked into the evil. And once again, everything changes from the graphic novel and the movie. And in the movie, she has, like, some chip controlling her in the back of her head, but in the graphic novel, that wasn't the case. Anyway, so the epic battle ensues, and what I think is funny is they have, like, a redo button on life, and they have, like, these hipster guards who you have to, like, say the password to, and they're like, wait, what's the password? And he's just like, and they're like, cool, and then you go in. And then you have the next one, what's the second password? And he's like, I don't want to. It's like, cool, and then they go in. It's like, such hipsterism. It's like, if you care, then you can't come in, but if you just are like, I don't want to, then you get in. So epic battles ensues. Knives Chow shows up because I love Knives Chow. Then you have other amusing things like the band Sells Out, the Sex Bomb, because references are funny. And they have, like, the main, like, the girl drummer. No, they only have girl drummers in this movie. I don't know what that's about, but I like it. Anyway, and she wears like this adorable like maid sexy dress. I want one of those dresses, but you can only get them at like whore shops, and I'm not gonna like lower myself to that. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Anyway, in conclusion, Scott Pilgrim is awesome and you should watch it because it's so great. It has such great music and great acting, and just like the way it's filmed is ridiculously awesome. Just like the concepts they present are so hilarious and so great. And even if you don't end up watching the movie, you should at least read the graphic novels if you have time, because those, once again, are just so hilarious and so adorable. And it's just, Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim is awesome. Oh, in the graphic novels, they also give you a recipe for vegan shepherd's pie, which I want to make at some point in time. Some point in time soon. See you, Space Cowboy.